Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be doing a quick, somewhat quick, I don't know how long it's going to be, but video on the 2000 limited 4Runner 4x4. We're going to give you guys a tour of it, and I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey everybody, how's it going? So we got both 4Runners here. There's the SR5. Here's the limited. So I'm gonna give you guys a as quick as I can tour of the limited. It has original lights. It's missing one of the fog lights, which is fine. I'm gonna end up buying new fog lights anyways to put on this truck, and then I'm gonna be taking the halos and the headlights off of the SR5. So these brackets are broken on this headlight on this side, which attaches to the grille right there. You can see that this actually is supposed to be on the headlight. This one's completely broken. So I'm going to be taking these brackets off of probably the old headlights that were on this truck that are actually over there in one of those containers. You should be able to unmount the plastic brackets and mount them back on. And then this lens is broken, so I actually need to buy two fog lights for this truck, two for that truck. I'm going to, because I had to custom cut the fog light housing in the back, I'm going to take the cover plates off of this one, and we're going to unbolt them from this these fog lights, and then we're going to install them on that one with the HIDs in them. So this truck has complete HIDs. We're going to be moving these over to this truck. I have tail lights coming in for this truck, tail light housings that are not original Toyota, which I've said in previous videos. So this bumper does needs paint. So the paint is coming off, but I'm not worried about it. This isn't even the correct grill. This is actually a chrome grill from a limited. It's actually supposed to be a color match grill to the bumper, but it's no big deal. I'm looking for a hood, scooped hood. This is actually a 2001 model year, but it was released as a 2000. So this is the exact same as that one. This one's just limited. That one's an SR5 Sport. This one does have a lift kit. It's got a 6-inch lift combined with the tires. So my truck has two 65/70 R16s. This has two 65/75 R16s. So this one has slightly bigger tires than that one. This one does not have the original steps. It has rock sliders / steps that I actually painted to get rid of the rust on them after I buffed them out a little bit. It's in pretty good condition. I put the exhaust tip on. This door is kind of messed up. You gotta do that, jimmy it. This mat is the blue mat that came out of my SR5. This truck didn't come with the tannish brownish mat. It's supposed to be kind of a brown color, because this interior is actually considered beige and mocha. Mocha is this darker brown. I don't know if I can show the camera. There you go. It's kind of hard to see it. There you go. It's not a tan. It's like a creamy beige color for some of it, and then the rest of it is this darkish kind of mocha brown, which Toyota calls it dark chocolate, but it looks more like mocha. But I got some stuff put in here. I just figured I'll use my retractable mat until I can retractable cover until I can get a color match one. So these seats are not a tan color, they're actually a creamy beige. The carpet is kind of a brown mocha color as well. Put my toolbox back here, my emergency bag. And the center pieces on most of these, so this is a mocha brown, and then this is like a creamy tan color, or a creamy beige color. I put my jumper cables back in here, a couple, you know, filter wrenches and stuff like that that I always kept in my other one. But all in all, other than it's missing a couple things, it's actually in great condition. Does have the port back here. There is scratches, you know, these scratches all over it, which I'm not too worried about. I did spray this lock hinge down, as well as this one. This door is actually pretty rusty, even the handle side. So the handle right there is pretty rusty as well. These shocks are actually twice as big as the shocks that were actually on mine. Mine are only about that big around. These right here are like that big around. I did fix this bezel right here. This rubber gasket was actually shoved behind the bezel. I did replace the license plate light housings, the complete housings. I actually had to take this whole panel off and pull the wires out of the door, so I'd have the door completely open. There's some kind of car smog or something on the truck. Not sure what it is, but it's leaving black powder in my hands. Which I just cleaned all this, so it might be because I was in traffic. I did have to take the spare off of it. The spare is no longer under there. The spare was actually too big. It was either the spare or my hitch, or my ball hitch, because it was too big. You know, this truck doesn't come with technically 265/75 16s, or yeah, 16s. The door actually says 265/70 R16 is a standard, which is what mine has. Mine has 265/70 R16s. So 265/75 16s are way too big. This roof rack is in pretty bad condition. Half of it's missing. They put some kind of metal plate here on both sides. Doesn't belong. I'm gonna end up putting a cargo rack on top in due time. Mine has this does have a moon roof that opens. It doesn't have the bracket like mine, or my SR5 I should say. Mine has this little wind deflector right here on my SR5. I am looking for another wind deflector to install on this one because I like how it looks with the wind deflector. I am going to be putting up a large rack. It's going to come all the way up to here, so it's actually going to partially cover the moonroof, which I very rarely use. There is a couple dents on the roof up here. There is a couple dents like this one right here on the hood, which is not a big deal because I'm going to be replacing the hood anyways. I did change the door handles, interior door handles out. So this truck originally had, the interior door handle it had was this color, this creamy beige color, and I changed them out for the dark chocolate mocha handles. So these actual door handles actually correlate with this portion of the door and the bottom portion of the door, and the handle right here and this backing leather panel they stand out because there isn't, the door handle and these two pieces aren't the same color anymore. I like this setup, it looks a lot nicer. The dash is in pretty great condition. I am waiting to get a dash cover from Carhartt. I got a dash cover being made for this truck from Carhartt. I did take all the floor mats these rubberized mats that I had in the SR5. I put them in here. All of the original mats are missing in this truck, which is weird to me. I didn't have any mats in it. The carpet up front is kind of changing color, so what's under the seat is actually that dark brown, but all of this is actually kind of tannish gray. So it looks like there's been fading in here, which is not a big deal. I do have all the wood grain stuff. I do have replacements for all the handles, or the switches and everything. I have this panel, I have this panel. This panel is completely broken. You can see how broken it is. So this little box that holds this switch in is actually completely missing. It's falling apart. I'm not going to put the new one that I got of this in here until I am going to be removing the stereo, because I did previous videos where I have a bunch of Pioneer Mavic 8200 NEX navigation system stuff to install. This panel is more than likely going to break when I get it to the new one, this one out. And I don't want to install the new one until I know that the stereo is completely installed. I don't got to worry about anything, and I don't have to do anything else, because I'd rather pull this panel off 4 or 5 times if something needs to be fixed, than to remove it, put the new one on, then have to pull the new one off, and then it breaks. We got a few things I've noticed that this truck needs. It needs light bulbs. It needs light bulbs for all of these shifter lights. I'm not going to worry about half the light bulbs missing from this, because literally none of this stereo lights up at all. This section right here does light up, which I need to change some bulbs on this side, which probably is just one bulb I need to change out. That does this section right here. It might be 1 and 2, it might be 2 bulbs, but this section of the screen doesn't light up. This section does, as well as, you know, those are usually the only bulbs that I need to replace, other than the bulb that actually lights up this 12-volt socket, or the lighter socket. And then I took the bulb out of the glove box that needs to be replaced. This console right here is in pretty bad condition. If anybody knows where I can get another one of these, let me know. I did put my sockets in here. So this truck has the original rims, so it has the original lug nuts. Those lug nuts are 13/16. And then I did put a custom Gorilla socket in here as well, a spline lug nuts wrench, because I do plan on changing these rims out. And the thing is that this specialty wrench, the large hex right here, is actually 13/16. So those sockets are going to stay in here anyways. This console is a little loose, needs to be tightened. Not a big deal. There is bolts missing on this side, this one right here, or pop clips. No, it's actually supposed to be a bolt, which was missing on mine. I just took a bolt in from the back. I had this dash panel piece removed, the wood grain piece, and I stuck my hand in, put the nut in. I'll do that again. It's got electric seats. Got electric seats. You know, the little pop glove cover right here is a little messed up, which is not a big deal. It still has its feet, its cover feet where the bolts go to lock the seat down. All in all, it's a pretty nice condition truck. I did take some stuff out of the SR5. I did also replace the antenna motor. I had to take this whole fender well out to put a new motor in with the new mast, because the other one was, I pulled the mast out because it kept grinding, which the mast is just the antenna that comes up. I pulled that out while the motor was on. You turn the key on, and then it tries to push this antenna piece up, and you just pull as the gears are turning, and it will release the whole antenna mast. When I took the antenna mast out, realized that the motor was, the gears, the plastic gears that move the antenna mast in and out are actually broken. So when the mast is removed, it was just making a grinding noise every time you went and started a truck for like 40 seconds. I did do some work. I did replace the power steering rack. I did paint all the way, painted all the way, the frame all the way to here, where the rear lower control arms attach. I did paint the frame up here as well, trying to save it. I did grind off any rust and stuff that was there. It needs, the upper and lower front control arms are extremely rusty. They're gonna have to be replaced. The rear axle is actually pretty bad in rust, but all in all, it's a nice truck. I took this out of my SR5, this cover plate, because the e-locker switch was missing. I have another e-locker switch I'm gonna put back in. I plan on putting a ram guard on this truck, as well as external lights like are on that one eventually one day. The back seat is actually the best seat in the truck. It does have all its headrests, which is nice. It's just dirty. Leather seats need to be cleaned. I did put the floor mats that I had in the back as well. But truck's in pretty good condition. All the switches do work. This rod is a little bit bent. As you can see, this panel's a little damaged. I'll probably end up having to replace this panel down the road. I put a locking gas cap in the truck behind there. And then get on the ground just real quick. So I did paint the frame on both sides all the way down. There is a missing bolt right here where my foot is. Right there's a missing bolt, which needs to be replaced, which holds that gas tank skid on, which also keeps the gas tank from falling. I painted the front sway bar as well. It's got a brand new rack, all brand new hardware, brand new bushings all across the rack, brand new bolts. Everything is brand new down here. I did paint. You can see how rusty the front drive shaft is. The transfer case is in pretty amazing condition. The rear drive shaft is pretty rusty as well. I got a blown shock. I'm actually waiting for the shocks to come in. Let me pull this out of my back pocket so I can break it. Alright. So I do have a blown rear shock. These are Billisteins for a 2003 to 2021 4Runner, which are 33-187-174. They are what goes on a 2003 to 2021 4Runner. This truck does have a 4-inch frame lift, a suspension lift, and it's got 2-inch bigger tires, so it's a 6-inch total. That shock, the boot is kind of ripped. It's kind of hard to see it from here. It's definitely ripped. Looks like it's starting to blow. So needs new lower and upper control arms. The axle is pretty rusty. Oh. I don't know why he had to be flying dang near right next to the sidewalk. So under here, I am looking for a new axle. This is actually surface rust. Majority of this actually can be painted, but there definitely is rust under here. It came from Detroit, Michigan. Hopefully it can be saved. You know, the paint's coming off, but it sounds solid. So it does need some work, but this axle is in pretty rough shape. The emergency brake cable is no longer welded to the diff or the back of the axle. See this cover right here is broken. So the emergency brakes don't work, or the parking brake, as it would be called, doesn't work, which is not really a big deal because I don't ever use it on my SR5 anyways. And then what I mean by the spare was too big, the spare was actually butted against this right here, and it was actually, that's why this is shiny. It rubbed this and all the paint off. Only way to fix this guy, other than just randomly quickly spray paint it, is I need to take it off, grind everything off of it, and paint it. The body's got a little bit of rust here and there. It's pretty solid for panels. So these brackets, I can buy these brackets right here for about $70 or a set. So I can just unmount those brackets. I'm looking for a tow hitch. The bumper, the rear bumper valance, or not the valance is what you see on the outside, but the actual metal bumper. Majority of this I can actually unbolt and replace, except for the frame. You know, I'll have to clean the frame up and paint it, but it's in good condition. Even though it's got rust on it, it's solid. It looks like the rust is just what it peeled up the paint. And if I have to, I'll find another 4Runner, chop this end off, weld it on. The filler neck is actually pretty rusted though, so that does need to be replaced. Just giving you guys a tour. The rust actually stops right where the gas tank starts, so that's pretty good. The drums are pretty rusty. It does have new parking brake levers, which I am looking for another axle instead of trying to grind all that paint and everything off, and see how bad the axle is. I feel it's just easier in a sense to just pull the axle out, slap another one under it, before I slap another one under it, fix the frame, grind everything off, make sure it looks as solid as it sounds, paint it, and then slap a new axle under. And then what I could do is, because that axle would be removed, I can strip that axle down. I could physically clean it, buff it, and I don't have to worry about not having transportation for whatever I need it for. Because when you're stripping an axle, it would be way helpful to be able to go to the store for parts to rebuild it and have an extra axle laying around. But other than that, the truck doesn't really have a lot of rust. I mean, it's got a little bit starting right here, which is not a big deal. But on the outside of the frame is actually in pretty great condition. You know, this truck did go through snow, so that's probably why the inside of the frame under the truck looks a little rough. I am going to be doing a video on these seat covers, or these seats, not seat covers. These are not covers, these are actual leather seats. I'm gonna try, I got some leather conditioner previous video before this one. I'm gonna try to clean these seats the best I can, condition them the best I can. The driver's seat is the worst, but at least this right here is still soft. So it looks like it wasn't necessarily greatly taken care of, but I don't want to make it any worse. The seat bolsters on the side. But I'm gonna clean these seats with leather cleaner, and then I'm gonna condition them. The passenger seat is actually a lot better. And one day, I'm gonna end up, after I do the video showing you guys the leather cleaner and the leather conditioner on these seats, I'm gonna be putting all the seat covers that are in that truck in this one, because I'd prefer to protect the leather seats the best I can compared to the fabric seats that are in the SR5. And I'll open the hood in a second. So this is going to be a little bit longer video. So this seat doesn't actually have any like complete rips in it. It's actually in pretty great condition. It's got little cracks here and there, but it's not as bad as the driver's seat. Like this side, you can see how bad the driver's seat is. I'm looking for another one of these. This is completely destroyed all the way to the foam. And then I need to open the hood, show you guys what I did under the hood. I did take the cold air Volant intake that I had in the SR5, and I did put it in this Limited. And this Limited got really peppy as soon as I put that in. This truck was kind of slow on acceleration until I put that cold air intake that I had on mine. Well, let me hold you guys up here for a second. It's got a brand new Napa Legend battery, premium battery, which is fine for now. I will replace the battery later. I'll replace this bracket later too, or at least scuff it and paint it. This battery is actually a little small for this truck. It doesn't have the original positive clamp, so I'm gonna end up replacing that. I don't like that style clamp. Which you could just unbolt this bolt here and remove this clamp from it. I'll put the traditional one on, which I do have some extras. Here's the cold air intake. Now this one, the sealer that was right here kind of flew off, and I ended up putting this foam piece in and it didn't stick. So I am going to be buying another one of these, and the one that I purchased in the next few months, that intake is going to go in here. This one's going to go back in the SR5. It does have rust spots on it. I did fix the oil leak. The valve cover bolts were loose. They were not even hand tight. You could literally twist them for 2 minutes with your fingers to tighten them. It doesn't look like it has the original radiator. This truck does have a external transmission cooler. This truck also has 3 horns. It's got one here, which my SR5 only has 2 in the behind the grill. There's also one right there. Not sure if it can be seen. There's one right here. Truck. When I did the power steering rack, I replaced the power steering reservoir, power steering pump, power steering pulley bolt or nut. Replaced the reservoir cap. So I replaced both pressure line and return line, brand new from Toyota. The only thing that I didn't get from Toyota was the power steering pump. The pulley, the reservoir, both lines are all from Toyota. All the bolts that I replaced, all the bolts, nuts, washers, and everything that goes on the rack all came from Toyota. The rack is a Napa rack. I've had great success with the Napa racks. This brake booster, the truck, on the first day I got it home, the brakes failed because the booster failed, and they picked the vehicle up with the tow truck. It got towed back to the dealership I bought it from. They replaced the brake booster. I don't know why they flash rust so quickly. When this fails, I'm more than likely going to take it out, put a new one in, and I'm going to paint the new one like I did mine. I painted it red. I primed it with gray primer, then painted it red a couple times. These brake calipers are going to need to be replaced. They're sticking. So you hear wah, 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 like a squeak sound, like a ee, 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 because they're actually getting slightly stuck, clamped. You can tell I've been driving the truck because it's got brake dust all over it, which, you know, that's what she's for. This panel, there's a couple rusted bolts that are missing right here. They were rusted out. So these panels are not completely tight against the body. But I'll fix that later. The radiator looks brand new. The fan clutch, the fan blades, everything look pretty new. Looks like there's a crack in this fan blade. I'm gonna have to replace that. But it needs a little work here and there. The four-wheel drive activates, but the U-joints on the front drive shaft are pretty shot. So I need to replace the U-joints. And it's probably easier just to find a junkyard drive shaft that, you know, in the state of Arizona that isn't rusted, put that under, probably will have good U-joints. But Napa wants $739 for the rear drive shaft because it's got the double cardone joint, and they want $530 for the front drive shaft. Toyota wants $1,400 for the front drive shaft and $2,300 for the rear drive shaft with the double cardones. So hopefully I'll find some drive shafts in a junkyard that I can just swap over. I will eventually buy U-joints anyways. You know, it takes 6 U-joints for this truck, or 5. I don't remember off the top of my head. But you know, the most premium ones are like $25 a piece. I like SK parts from Napa. SKF parts have worked well for me on the SR5. Other than that, it's got original Toyota coils. I do need to replace the transmission pan because this dipstick is messed up. It's stuck. It literally has to be, you see how when I try to push it down it just bends? I don't know why it does that. But there's something in the tube. I did get a new upper tube, but in order to replace the lower tube as well, you have to replace the transmission pan because the lower tube is actually welded to the transmission pan. But I do have, this truck has been taken care of in certain aspects. It's got brand new gray wire loom all over it. It's got some quick disconnect, little twist clamps on it, which is nice. I actually left that there. I would have just put one that I would have needed a tool for. So this is nice. I'm actually going to go O'Reilly's, pick some more of these up because I kind of like that. All the electronics work. The ABS, when they fixed the brake booster at the dealership, the ABS sensor, driver side front ABS sensor was completely replaced because the light came on. It's no longer leaking oil since I tightened all of these bolts for the valve cover on the outside. Just a quick tour. I do want to find an original, or at least the correct color grill. This is a chrome grill. It's not supposed to be on here. It's supposed to be the silver like the bumper. Blows cold AC. The climate control head unit actually works, other than it's missing a couple bulbs. All the sensors and everything work great. No issues with any of that stuff. The charcoal canister works like it's supposed to. This right here is the remote start setup on this truck. The four-wheel drive actuators are bolted right here. Those work great. It's got a bypass cable in here also, which I need to fix in the diagnostic port. It's pretty well taken care of. I am looking for a 2000 Toyota 4Runner donor vehicle to help her out. So if you guys know where I can purchase a 2000 Toyota 4Runner Millennium Silver like this girl right here, because I can replace this outer panel, no issue. but the damage is so bad it actually messed up the inner portion of the frame, and these do not come apart. This inner panel is actually attached to this whole body, and there is, you know, the doors can be replaced, but the damage to this right here, I'm not sure if it can be repaired. The damage back here, this door is completely smushed right here, and it's not actually flush right here, and it's actually too close right here. So this door got tweaked on this side. It does open. This door does open. No issues. It actually opens easier than that one, but what I mean is it's too close, is it's actually hitting right here. When you go all the way up, it's actually hitting the body. So this door needs to be replaced, and these are the shocks I was telling you about. They're a lot smaller than what's on the other one. I'm going to be leaving these taillights on this truck because I have a same brand, just a different style. They're going to be smoked gray, and the reverse is going to be up here, I believe, and then the brake and the blinkers are going to be at the bottom. So it's a little bit different design. These panels are all broken. I need to actually take them off. But I took the floor, the steps on this truck off already. I started stripping certain things down. I can't put another tire on here and rim on here until I find a steering knuckle. Steering knuckle broke off. Toyota wants like $1,000 for the steering knuckle, and that doesn't come with the hub assembly or anything like that. I have to unbolt that from mine. But I have lower control arms and upper control arms for this truck anyways. I had them actually sitting in their boxes for the last 4 or 5 months, so not a big deal. I can replace the lower control arm, but there's no point to replace the lower control arm until I have a steering knuckle to attach to it. I just left this bottle here. I could probably take the bottle out because it's done dripping. She needs a little work. I found a complete bumper and grill, everything for this front end, about $800, everything here, other than the fog lights that need to be replaced. My other light actually snapped off. Here's the bracket. So I do plan on putting a ram guard on that truck as well. This ram guard cannot be replaced. They don't make it anymore. But that's, you know, it's been 37 minutes. You know, the tour showing all the damage to her was a pretty long video as well. It has good end links, sway bar end links. The sway bars look good. These end links back here are actually greasable. The bushings on the top bushing is shot though. I do know that the panhard bar in the rear does need to be replaced. There is literally no bushing, so it could shift like 2 inches on either side. But you know, it's an old 2000 truck. It needs work here and there. But other than that, it's in pretty great condition. It runs smooth, transmission shifts smooth. The 4-wheel drive lights, everything on the dash lights up, everything works like it's supposed to. So when you shift this, push the 4-wheel drive button, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 speed and a neutral. A lot of people don't know, but you actually are supposed to put the main shifter in neutral when you shift it into 4-wheel drive. It actually guarantees that it will go into 4-wheel drive, compared to some vehicles like the Excursion I have sitting right there, that you could be doing 15 when it shifts into 4-wheel drive with no issues, because that has the vacuum operated system, so you can actually be moving. This one has a similar vacuum operated system, just not as extravagant. I am looking for a replacement e-locker rear axle with 430 gears. The e-locker doesn't work on this axle. That's why I bought a module and another switch, because the switch was missing. But all the dash lights work on mine. on my SR5, the D light didn't work. Didn't work when you turn the lights on at night, didn't work when the lights were off, it died. And then one day I hit a really bad bump and then it flickered and it turned on. And then it turned back off as soon as I got the end of the bump. But, you know, it needs a little love. This is the sand dune color with the two-tone silver. It's got scratches all over it. Like right here, it's got scratches on it. I'm not worried about it. It drives smooth, runs really well. It's got 5 brand new Goodyear Wrangler Ultra Terrain AT tires, which I like Goodyear Wranglers. I prefer Duratrax, but these are actually pretty decent tires since I've been playing with them. Got a nice aggressive tread pattern. They grip really well. I think the truck needs a little bit of alignment. It doesn't shake and it doesn't veer, but I think the tires in the front are pigeon-toed a little bit, maybe like 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch toed on the inside. So they're kind of like this. Instead of being straight, they're kind of pointed like this a little bit, which I can adjust with just adjusting the tie rods, the outer tie rods. But I need to do a video for you guys where I show some different leather cleaners, and then once I'm done with that video, it's time for me to rip out all the seat covers in that truck and put them in this one, because these seat covers are extremely hot even with the windows down when it hits like noon. Where you end up, it burns you through your pants. So I'm going to put the seat covers that I have on the SR5, because the SR5 isn't going to be driven right now. I might be taking this red horn set that I have. I have a set of horns in here that I had wired up. I might be taking that out of this truck, dropping them over to this truck, because the clock spring in my SR5 died. That's why I had to wire an external horn. But this has 3 horns. It does not sound like a traditional 4Runner. It's actually a lot louder. Clock spring, cruise control, fog lights, everything works in this truck. So I'm thinking of splitting one of the wires for these horns. We're splicing in a separate a hot and ground from this plug, splicing it separately, because I actually mounted the compressor right here, and I mounted the horn actually down here, hidden behind this bumper trim right here, and I wired in this, so then it will have the Toyota horns as well as the truck horns that I put on her. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, you know, comments, leave them down below. I do plan on restoring this truck. All the rust that you saw underneath the rear end, it did not go through the panel. You can open the back hatch, bang on the floor, it's nice and solid. So I just plan on buffing, grinding a little bit, getting all the rusted off paint off, cleaning it to bring it back to bare metal, and then painting. My wife doesn't care. She's like, yeah, I don't really care if you paint it purple. Just make sure it stops rusting the best you can. I'm not going to worry about drums. I have a set of drums in the barn that were actually for her when she needed it. So since she's down and her brakes are at like 80%, I have drums, I have 2 wheel cylinders, and I have 2 brand new red painted calipers that can go on this truck. So I also have 2 brand new rotors, rear brake shoes, and front brake pads. So I have everything in my barn to replace all of the brakes and make them brand new on this truck, which they have 78% as of this moment. So don't need to replace them right now, but do appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Instead of a skull plate like I normally have on mine that's got like 3-dimensional skulls, I do have one that actually has the Mexican female skeleton women that I thought my wife would like. So we're gonna put that plate cover on the license plate when it gets here. They have until September 11th, technically, which is kind of aggravating, to get me my plate. I'm gonna be running that plate for about a year because I got a year's worth of tags when I bought the truck and for free. And then when the tags run out, I'm gonna switch it to a probably either a veteran plate or a military plate, and buy 5 years worth of tags. Like, I literally bought 5 years worth of tags 2 weeks before I wrecked this truck. It was irritating. This door, I am looking for a replacement door. I don't particularly like this door. There's a lot of rust inside this door. On the inside of this panel right here, and the handle and everything is rusty. This side looks pretty decent. It's sticking out a little bit. It's not completely flush. It is, this lip is a little higher than the body. But on this side, it's a lot wider. And this one's just like my door on the back. The door's not scraped and damaged, but it progressively, this lip progressively comes away from the body line. So, you know, it needs another door. It might be because of those shocks are a lot bigger, because you can actually see the shock bracket right here. But that's about it, guys. It's definitely dusted really badly with car smog or whatever it is. This truck does not puke car smog. It is actually very clean. It's probably another vehicle I was behind. I was behind a diesel the other day, a roll color the other day. Probably why it looks like that. But that's all I got for you guys. I do appreciate you guys showing up today, hanging around, checking out the video, hanging out with me, not hanging around. Over there, and go all the way up. You know, let me know what you guys think of the new rig. I did clean her as well, and I will do another video. Actually, you know what? Because this video is already 47 minutes, I might as well just quickly show you guys. So I did clean this girl. When the truck wrecked, when I went to the tow yard, I ended up getting the floor mat and all of these mats. These blue mats were actually in the truck sitting on top of the Toyota mats. This is actually the original Toyota mat. That Limited didn't come with any of the mats. But I did come back here, clean all of the paneling. I actually shampooed all of these, all 4 of these mats. I shampooed this carpet in the house, got it nice and clean. I shampooed the front mats, the Toyota mats for the front, and the Toyota mats for the back. I shampooed all of them. So we'll give you guys just a quick little update on this one. I shampooed the carpets the best I can. I took all the dash out, it's just sitting in the back right now. And then I shampooed these mats right here. I had 2 sets of mats in here. I had the 4Runner mat, and then I had the Ed Hardy mat, and then these, when I bought the Limited, they gave me these, just 2 front rubber mats, and they put some kind of oil on these mats, and they're slippery as hell. But I cleaned all the dash and all the mats. These panels are in pretty good condition. Other than that, the reason that pop noise happened is because this panel actually this quarter panel got bent, so this door is actually rubbing the crap out of it every time I open it. As soon as I take that off, it will be fixed. These seat covers are gonna go, these Realtree Browning seat covers are gonna go in the Limited. Both of them. Because these are the blue fabric seats, which is no big deal. But I did try to treat the girl to a little bit of cleaning. You know, she deserves it. She did save my life in that accident. and she deserves to be put back on the road as soon as I can get every part needed. If anybody knows where I can get a Millennium Silver complete body, from the hood, I would want the hood, all front quarter panels, all doors, windows, and rear hatch door, and all of the interior. As long as the interior is blue, try to get a hold of me, let me know. I'll be happy to put down a couple grand on a body, or even a parts truck. If you know anybody that's got this truck, same color, Millennium Silver, with the matching bumpers, everything, and it's got the blue fabric interior and everything like that. If you guys know somebody that's got a truck that it's a parts truck, it can't be driven on the road, but the body's in good condition, I'll even buy the whole truck, including the engine and everything, and I'll use that engine and the parts off that engine to rebuild either one of these vehicles when they need it, because this engine actually still runs. This one runs great. You guys let me know in the comments. I do appreciate you guys' time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. And hopefully soon we'll go do some videos and taking this on some trails. It definitely is a lot taller for my wife. She actually has to lift her leg half of her body height just to step into her. Which doesn't look like a lot from here. It doesn't look that tall, but it actually is. It definitely rides about 3 to 4 inches higher than mine. Mine has a 3-inch lift, but mine has the smaller tires, the original size tires. This one has a 4-inch lift, which I actually calculated is like a 4.5 inch total frame lift, suspension lift, and then the tires add 2 inches, so it's somewhere around almost about 6.5 inches total. It doesn't look like it, but if you put these tires on mine, the tires won't fit. They'll actually be rubbing. These tires will actually be rubbing against these panels. But that's all I got for you guys today. I know I've said that a couple times and then continued to talk. I apologize for that. Just excited to have another 3rd gen 4Runner that we can romp, go have fun, and do stuff. I will get Skye fixed. She's not going to sit there forever. I am trying to get a steering knuckle so I can at least be able to steer her. I can pull her forward, drive her forward, and then drive her back and park her in here. So that way it's easier to park up here, because she's kind of in the way. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Please like, comment, subscribe, smush the bell notification icon for future updates. Go check out my Amazon affiliate links, my Acme Tools affiliate links, my DJI Electronics affiliate links, as well as my Ohio Power Tools affiliate links. And I'll see you guys on the next video. You guys stay safe. Peace!